Green Sally up, a green Sally down. The last gun start got a tail that's brown.
Alright, here's my John Deere 110 with the cylinder project, putting the hydraulics on. I put basically just a log splitter valve in the back, and this is mounted sideways. It's mounted on a 1/2 inch plate, which is all I had. I didn't have any 1/4 inch. This is all half here, and it's bolted to the frame, welded on underneath there. The nuts are welded on so that you just pull this off, pull everything out, and it comes out in about 5 minutes. But well, biggest thing is getting the lines off if you were going to take it off of there. But anyway, this is a 1/4 inch high pressure line coming in, and then down underneath here is the return line going to the power steering pump up front. There's the tiller lift. There's the cylinders lines that go to the front and back, and this is a solid piece of bar stock, and I made a bearing support here because it had a tendency to go up or down instead of forward or back. And here's the piece off the log splitter that was mounted originally back here where that spring is. And these springs, I don't really need them on here. They're just to kind of help it return to center. I should have bought a self-centering valve, but I didn't. Just bought the made in USA log splitter valve. And so this was a piece of solid bar stock here that I drilled on the mill to start with, and I just turned it down to the diameter that I wanted and welded it on the frame here. And so this is slotted on that bar stock as well, so that, and there's a hole down here for it, so you basically have your same points in there as what it had on the log splitter valve. And then the handle goes down in there just like it did, and I heated it up with the torch and bent it to what I wanted, and just goes down in there, and you put it on like that, and and then it'll just run it forward and back just like it would if it was back on the log splitter valve. Anyway, there's the cylinder down in there, if I can get a good shot of it. And basically what I did here was, this is another piece of 1/2 inch, and let's get another shot of it. There's the back side of it. There's the clevis of the cylinder right there, and there's a solid piece of bar stock. And then what I did up on top here was mill a slot for it to come up through, and it was a tight fit moving it up and down. But then basically when I got the height that I wanted, then I just burned it in with a big weld over here, and then I went back across it to tie it in here to that 1/2 inch block. And there's the cylinder down in there. There's the bung for the hose on the front of it down there. Can't get a good shot of it, but anyway, these are slow down valves. There's one here, and then there's one under there for the other hose that comes up. And let's see here if I can get a shot of this, how I did that. Try to see what I did here. I brought the I brought this hose down and around off the front side, and that's where it comes back to the cylinder. It kind of loops around underneath. See if I can get a shot of it. There's the cylinder underneath. Comes over there, and then it ties in to, I don't know if we can get a good shot of it or not. Ties into that shaft where the manual arm tied into up on top, and then that hose just kind of loops around off the front side of that cylinder, so it's got plenty of clearance. So that's where we're at with that. There's my my 7-inch pulley I just put on the other day. I got this out of Farm and Fleet. It's a 7-inch diameter. The stock one's 8-inch. And now you got clearance on the back side here where normally you had to take the pulley off, the 3 bolts out, in order to change the belt. So now I can change that belt out without having to unbolt the pulley. You have to use a belt that's 2 inches shorter when you go 1 inch diameter less on that. I had to bore the hole out, and then I had to put it on the rotary table and drill the 3 holes to get it back bolted on to the rear end. Alright, so down along the frame there inside where the snowblower bracket mounts, that's where the high pressure line comes out, or goes down through, and hooks up there. I had to put a Tecumseh air filter on there because my bracket was getting in the way, so that's actually the old exhaust piece that I had on there. It's the same diameter as what the inlet side of the carb is, so I just use that. Put that on there. Here's the, if I can get down there to show it. There's where the line hooks up on the high pressure side. You have to use an adapter there because it's millimeter, and then to get it to that AN fitting you have to have an adapter for that. And then on the return side it's right over there, so you just have to buy a quality piece of a hose that's made for hydraulics and try to show that. All that intake is just a weld on it all the way around, and then I just drilled through the weld, and that's what bolts up back to the carburetor with 3 1032 screws. And when I did that, the air cleaner started running into the coil, so I moved the coil over to the side just to get it out of the way. So that's where we're at with that, more or less. So then my new exhaust is going to be a stack, which came off of a 5020 Alice Chalmers, and made a little bracket so it won't unscrew, and then the bottom side has a weld on it so it won't unscrew itself. Now here's the other side of the pulley here with the jack shaft. Uses the same pulley that the John Deere would have their hydraulics on, and then it comes up here, and it's actually spring loaded, and being that it goes this way, it goes around the exhaust, so there's the spring right there. get a good shot of that. There's the setup right there. And this pulley I ended up buying. I was going to make one and broach the keyway, and I kind of cheated a little and just bought one because it's like 20 bucks or something, so saved me a little bit of time, I guess. Anyway, that's pretty much the setup on that. I'm in the process right now of covering this up and finishing it off so that it looks like it's supposed to be there, I guess. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm getting ready to cut a piece out of this sheet metal here, and I got a template I made out of that Daco belt. Got it transferred over here, and gonna see if I can get this cut out and weld it on and get her finished up. Alright, got her cut out. Let's see what we got here. It's about like so. Yeah, that's alright. I think I can live with that. A little bit lower than the metal there, so I can fill that in, make it look good. That'll work. Alright, I got all the edges cleaned up, and I ended up welding that hole shut on the pipe down there, and got that just kind of dressed up a little bit, and primered and painted it. Not that it really needed it, but I thought as long as I was there, I'd just go ahead and do it. And then I got this piece here ready to go. It's primered and painted just to keep the rust level down. I'm going to put that on the back side when I weld it in, and we'll see if we can get her done here, get her going. Alright, I got it blocked off a little bit. Got all the bolts out so I could block it nice, and I know it's not going to look perfect, but it'll be a lot better than having that big void in there and stuff. But anyway, I welded up where the old regulator was. You can kind of see the outline of it there, and the new one's right here on the edge. I had to go way on the edge because those leads would have touched if I would have had it way in there, so that'll look alright. And I'll put a little skin coat on here and block it off and prime it and paint it here, and we'll see if we can make it look halfway decent. Well, I got it blocked off and primed and painted, so this looks like it turned out okay to me. Don't really see a whole lot of imperfections in it. Turned out alright, pretty smooth. Good enough. I still got to sand off this little spot I got on the front. The other side, I got the exhaust port covered and all painted. You can't really tell, I guess, without bringing the light over here. There's where the exhaust came out. So I'd say that looks good enough for me. Alright, here's another look at it before I put the body back on it of the basic setup of it. Nice and smooth. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll take this one out of here, and then I can let that handle come back, and that'll help me in my installation of it. That's that. That is nice. All right, good enough. I put a die on this, and I went down a couple more threads just to make this ball look like it was a little bit lower, kind of help with the appearance of it a little bit. So that's that. Looks good.